Hello everybody, Loto for Life here, bringing you guys a brand new video. This time around it is an archetype analysis of Amazonas. So, firstly let me just say, I'm sorry for not uploading as much lately. I've been busy with between work and school, and then I got sick last week, and that was just atrocious. So, yeah, and I'm still recovering, so if like I sound sniffly or if I cough, I'm sorry. I gotta apologize ahead of time. But I really need to get back on making videos. See, there's that cough. Anyway, so guys, Legendary Duelist comes out today, surprisingly enough, and I say surprisingly because I completely forgot the set was coming out until like people started talking about it 2 days ago. And despite what everybody's saying, I personally think it's a good set, like for just what it's supposed to be. Yeah, sure, competitive wise, it's not good, but what it's supposed to be, which is to give support to 6 different decks. Like, holy crap, can you believe that this set, one single set with like 50 something cards in it, gives support to 6 different decks and makes all 6 either playable or it gives you new ways to play that deck. Obviously Red Eyes already had plenty enough to be able to play, but now they got more stuff, and it makes it gives you more variety with the deck builds you can do with the deck. And then the other 5 decks went from being basically unplayable to being actually playable and a fun little rogue deck to try out. And heck, honestly, Amazonas in particular, which is the archetype we're covering today, I feel like it's a few cards short of being like a solid tier 2 deck. So yeah, let's cover it. So first and foremost, we got their original boss monster. Well, I say original in that like it's like from forever ago, but even then it was released in D-Rev long after everything else came out. And that is Amazonas Queen. She's level 6, 2400 attack, a warrior earth like everything else in the deck, barring the tigers. And she's 2400 attack, 1800 defense. Really good for a level 6. That's almost Monarch stats. Like, she just has 800 more defense, but that's irrelevant. And then while she's out on the field, Amazonas monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. This is actually really good for what the deck wants to do. Now, nowadays it's not as great because, well, we got Trident and Masterpiece and all that stuff, and 1-for-1 pop removal is just always going to be annoying. But in general, this effect is not bad at all. Just getting her out, which isn't hard to do now, is just really easy. And having her out in the field, giving all of your Amazonas monsters, which, aside from her and Paladin, everything else in the deck is 1500 or lower. So yeah, giving them battle protection is really, really nice, and it just is a really good card overall. Being level 6, you can make like Beatrice and stuff like that, or other rank 6s if you get multiple out, which again is not hard to do with the new support. So overall, I would say Queen is a pretty good monster. She used to be a heck of a lot better before all the generic spot removal came out. But even then, nowadays, I still think she's a worthy 2 of, especially if we get the fusion, which I double-checked Legendary Duelist. We do not have the fusions or spy in the set, which is weird, because they weren't in our version of Battle of Legends, which they were in Japan's version. So I have no idea when we're getting the fusions. And it's starting to kind of worry me, because the fusions are actually pretty good, and spy is kind of needed for the deck sometimes. Anyway, so moving on. We got Paladin, level 4, 1700 attack, 300 defense, and it gains 100 attack for each Amazonas you control. So you normal summon her, she's 1800. Okay, so back in the day, she used to be really good for just being a beater, but nowadays, though, being a beat stick is just not that great anymore. She's okay. Really, honestly, you only play 1 to 2 of her, and only because she's an Amazonas monster, and there's not many, like, I'm going to be honest, aside from her and like 3 or 4 others, Amazonases are kind of lacking in the good monsters. Like, a few of their monsters are debatable if they're good or not. So, Paladin's not bad for just being a beater. And hey, with the field spell, she's 2000 by herself, which isn't bad at all for level 4. So, just okay. Then we got Amazonas Swordswoman, the original Amazonas monster from what I can remember, and is also one of the most obnoxious monsters in the game. Level 4, Earth Warrior, 1500 attack, 1600 defense. Your opponent takes all battle damage that you would have taken from battles involving this card. This is incredibly obnoxious and states the and basically sets the precedent for almost everything else in this archetype, and that Amazonases have battle-oriented effects, and Swordswoman is pretty darn good, but also very annoying. Okay, so annoying for your opponent. But however, she's also kind of lacking. For a monster that makes it to where your opponent takes the damage that you would have, I feel like that she should have had like a lot lower attack, like maybe 500 or something. But however, even then, this card is still good because, well, yes, your opponent's not going to be taking a lot of damage. If you ram into something like, I don't know, a ABC Dragon Buster while you have Queen out and your opponent's, assuming that you've already baited out the ABC, your opponent would take 1500 damage, which is really good. And then, oh hey, your Queen, due to your Queen's effect, your Swordswoman stays alive. And that's the general idea with that whole combo and everything. That and also the field spell keeps generating more and more Swordswoman. So it's pretty good even still today, and she's still a 3 of, mostly because her effect is just really good. It's one of those timeless effects where unless the battle phase is completely rendered irrelevant, she's still going to be a really good monster even like 10 years from now. Next up we got Amazoness Chainmaster, and this one is debatable on if it's good or not, but personally I like it a lot. So she's a level 4 Earth Warrior, 1500 attack, 1300 defense, and when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can pay 1500 life points, look at your opponent's hand, and choose one monster, then add that card to your hand. So Chainmaster used to be considered really, really, really bad because, oh hey, you gotta pay 1500 life points, this thing has to be destroyed in battle, and if your opponent doesn't have a monster in their hand, well, you're out of luck, and then, oh hey, if they do, you can't even play it till your next turn unless you ram this thing into your opponent during your turn, but why would you do that unless you're like kamikazing? So, but however, nowadays, Chainmaster I feel like is really good for the simple fact that hand traps are staples in almost every single deck out there. If you're doing in Zoo and they run over this, okay, and you pay that 1500 life points and you get to look at their hand, oh hey, they have a Maxi, they have a Ghost Ash, a Ghost Ogre, you know, like any of those big 3 hand traps, or heck, any of the other hand traps out there, you can take it and then you can use it for your own whenever it comes down to your turn, or heck, even during that same turn and they try to do something. So it's still, I feel like that it actually got better over time because hand traps are so heavily used nowadays, and this card can steal your opponent's hand traps. I love that, and it's really, really mean. Heck, I actually made somebody rage quit the other day while testing out Amazonesses, and I stole his Ghost Ash out of his hand. It's a really, really good card, especially nowadays. Granted, I still think that's probably like a 2 of at best because that 1500 life cost is heavy. Okay, I mean, granted, and if you're playing Solemn Strikes in this deck as well, that's another 1500 for that card, so yeah, you're going to be running out of life points real fast. Then we got Amazoness Fighter. She was kind of made to kind of like go along with Swordswoman, and she has almost the same stats, but 300 less defense. And you take no damage from attacks involving this card, so yeah, it's not that good. If it was another Amazoness Swordswoman, like literally verbatim, where, oh hey, your opponent takes any battle damage that you would have, she would have been okay. Actually, she would have been really good because then you can like loop these 2 with the field spell and just keep summoning out more and stuff. But no, they made it to where you don't take any battle damage from her. And I don't get the point of this. It's okay. It would have been so much better back in, I mean, it was probably better back in the day, but that's just not good. It really isn't. Moving on to Amazoness Trainee. She's level 4 Earth Warrior, 1500, 1300, which, by the way, what is up with 1500, 1300 being the standard, like, attack and defense for everybody? It's weird. Then her effect is that monsters destroyed by battle of this card are returned to the bottom of the deck instead of going to the graveyard. And then if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it gains 200 attack. So, Training is really good for the fact that she prevents graveyard effects from going off, and also if she kills a pendulum, that pendulum goes to the bottom of the deck, not the extra deck. So, Trainee has some really good things going for her. The big thing is that she starts off rather weak. Now, if you have the field spell, she has 200 more attacks, so she's 1700, and then she has a really nice combo with the quick play that came out in Legendary Duelist. So, Trainee is really intriguing. I feel like she's good in certain formats, but bad in others. It really depends on the format. So really, honestly, I'd say 1 to 2 depending on the format and everything that like you should play. I know I forgot to mention this, but don't play fighter at all. But yeah, Trainee I feel like is a 1 to 2 of in the deck because just it depends on the format and generally all that. It's a pretty good card though, honestly. And then we got Amazoness Archer, who originally wasn't part of the Archetype because she came out before anybody else and was just called Amazon Archer or something like that. I can't remember. And She's level 4, 1400 attack, 1000 defense. You contribute 2 monsters to inflict 1200 damage to your opponent. Yeah, the only burn card in the deck, it makes it super obvious that this card has nothing to do with the actual archetype. And it's only played in FTK, OTK decks with Firewall Dragon and other, like, just token generating decks. She's good in those, but terrible in this. Like, honestly, I don't even know why they bothered renaming her to Amazoness Archer when she has nothing to do with the deck. And then we got Amazoness Sage, level 4, 1400, 700, Earth Warrior, obviously. At the end of the damage step, if this card attacked and is still on the field, target one spell or trap card your opponent controls, destroy that target. So this card used to be a lot better back in the day when MST was still at 1 and everything, and we didn't have a million different back row removal options. But nowadays, Sage is just meh. She's not that great at all anymore. If she could, like, just pop one at any time or something, maybe. But nowadays, nope, not good at all, honestly. Maybe if you really want to be, like, nostalgic or have that funny little combo with Call that I'll get to here in a little bit. And then maybe play, like, one, I don't know. But even then, I don't recommend it. Then we got Amazoness Tiger, another card that used to be really good in the deck but isn't good anymore. So it's a level 4 Beast Earth, 1100 attack, 1500 defense. You can only control one Tiger. And this card gains 400 attack for each Amazoness monster you control. And your opponent cannot attack any face-up Amazoness monsters except this one. Yeah, it used to be a really good card back in the day with, like, that was basically when Amazonesses really did not have much support, and it was like 2006. When a 1500 beater mattered. But nowadays, yeah, Tiger's not good. It's just not good anymore. Yeah, sure, you can redirect the attack to it, and yeah, sure, it can get to, let's see here, 3100 if you have a full field, 3500 actually if you have a fusion out, one of the fusions out, I should say. So, yeah, it can get high up there, but that doesn't matter nowadays, does it? Anyways, moving on, we got Amazoness Princess, one of the new cards from Legendary Duelists. Level 3, 1200 attack and 900 defense. Warrior Earth, obviously. And then while she's on the field, she becomes Amazoness Queen. She also becomes Amazoness Queen while in the graveyard. If this card is normal or spell summon, you can add one Amazoness spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Amazoness Princess once per turn. When this card declares an attack, you can send one other card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Special summon one Amazoness monster from your deck in defense position except Amazoness Princess. So this card has 2 really good effects and a 3rd really good condition. So becoming Queen while on field actually kind of matters for the fusion. That's like the only part of it that's the only reason why that matters. Nothing else in the deck actually, like, requires Queen to be out. So, but however, if you summon her and she becomes Queen, then oh hey, you can use her for the summon of Empress. So that's pretty useful. And then being able to just rota out any of your spells and traps is really, really nice. Now, granted, I'm gonna be completely and totally honest. A lot of the spells and traps don't really matter, but there's a few good ones, and you're going to be grabbing those good ones. And then, this is the killer thing for me. When this card declares an attack, you can send one other card from your hand or field to the graveyard, special summon an Amazoness monster from your deck in defense position, except a copy of herself. That's not once per turn. Unlike the first effect, the search effect. So that means that if you use Call's effect in grave, which I might as well just say right now, you can banish Call from the graveyard, target Amazoness, and it can attack every single monster your opponent controls once each, which is stupid with Swordswoman, Trainee, Sage, and of course also Princess. You can just swarm out the whole field very, very easily. Granted, you're going to lose your whole hand to doing that, but hey, it's worth it if you're going to swarm your whole field and make a bunch of links and fusions and stuff. So yeah, Princess is a definite 3 of in the deck, and I really like it. It's such a great card. Next up, we got Amazoness Blowpiper. Oh dear lord, this card. Honestly, the worst card in the deck, if I'm being completely honest. It's a Warrior Earth, level 3, 800 attack, 1500 defense. And then, select one face-up monster your opponent controls during each of your standby phases. It loses 500 attack until the end of this turn. So, okay. This card has to be out on the field for a full turn. And then, during your standby phase, you can select one monster, reduce its attack by 500, and not even permanently, it's just until the end of the turn. Maybe back in like 2004, this was good. Because, hey, 1500 was kind of hard to get over. And then you could just set it, let your opponent ram into it, maybe have a Mirror Force or something to prevent it prevent them from running over something bigger. And then during your standby phase, reduce something by 500. Normal summon Swordswoman, run it over. But yeah, this isn't good at all anymore. It was like even if it was once per turn during your first turn, select one face-up monster your opponent controls, reduce its attack by 500. Even then, this wouldn't be good. Like, if I'm being completely honest, because this is not a good effect anymore. 500 attack does not matter, especially during the standby phase. Oh my god, it's not a good card. Don't consider this. Next up, we got Amazoness Spy, a card that we don't know when we're getting. Please be an OCG and import in Circuit Breaker, please, along with the fusions. That'd be wonderful. So she's a level 3, 800 attack, 1200 defense, warrior, Earth, obviously. If this card is in your hand, you can reveal one other Amazoness monster in your hand, spell summon this card. You can only use this effect of Spy once per turn. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can target an Amazoness monster in your graveyard, except herself, add it to your hand, or shuffle it into the deck. So I'm going to be honest, the main reason why I use Spy is for her first effect, to simply reveal it, to reveal something, special summon her. Generally speaking, that's supposed to be used to be able to tribute summon Queen easy, but however, you can also use it for links, for fusions, and other stuff, and it just is an overall really good effect. And in combination with Amazoness Pet Baby Tiger, which we'll get to here in a minute, Spy can generate you a lot of free advantage. It's just really, really good. Next up, we got Amazoness Scouts. Now, Scouts, I'm going to be completely honest. On paper, this sounds good. This card effect sounds good. But this card should have been a hand trap. So just keep that in your mind. This is a level 2 Warrior Earth. 500 attack, 1100 defense. During either player's turn, you can tribute this card. This turn, face-up Amazoness monsters you currently control cannot be targeted by monster effects and cannot be destroyed by card effects. Okay, so if this card is out on the field, during either player's turn, you can tribute this card off. Amazonesses you control cannot be targeted by monster effects and cannot be destroyed by card effects. That means you don't have to worry about Trident. You don't have to worry about Dark Hole. You don't have to worry about Regeki, Torrential Tribute. You don't have to worry about literally anything that has it's a targeting monster effect or a destruction card effect, which is like the two main things that's going on in the format right now with freaking Trident and Masterpiece. So yeah, this card isn't. Well, I can't say that. It would have been a lot better. Okay, so here's the big thing. It's not bad. Okay, the big thing is you got to get it out onto your field. You got to summon it. You got to have it on your field. You got to wait till your opponent's turn, activate it, tribute it off. I mean, okay, you don't have to fear. Okay, you don't have to wait till your opponent's turn, and you can use it during your turn. But you ideally want to do it during your opponent's turn so you can prevent them from being able to get rid of your stuff on their turn. So Scouts could have been a lot better if it was a hand trap. If it said you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to do its effect, this card would have been an instant 3-of staple in this deck. But with its current wording in effect, it's debatable if you even want to play it at all, honestly. I haven't been playing it in my build. I might try it out once I get the deck in real life, but even then I'm still hesitant. Like, it's just it sounds good on paper, but it's not. I don't know. Am I wrong about that, guys? Maybe somebody who's played Amazoness for a heck of a lot longer than me will think it's better, but I don't know. It's just not good. Now, granted, thanks to Princess and thanks to the new continuous trap, she's easier to get out. You don't have to eat up your normal summon like you used to. So maybe nowadays she's not bad, but even then I'd have to do some testing. Next up, we got Pet Baby Tiger, arguably the best card in the deck, or at least that's what everybody's calling it. It's a level 2, 500 attack, 500 defense, Beast Earth, and it's absolutely freaking adorable. Look at that card art. So this card's name becomes Amazoness Tiger while it's on the field or in the graveyard. And that matters because of the fusion that needs Tiger, and, well, you don't want to play the old Tiger. If an Amazoness monster is normal or spell summon to your field while this card is in your hand or graveyard, except during the damage step, you can spell summon this card. You can just special summon it. And then you can only use that effect once per turn, and then it gains 100 attack for each Amazoness card in your graveyard. So it can get super high up there if it's late game and stuff, which is hilarious. But generally speaking, it won't get higher than maybe 1,000 attack power. So the big thing is that whenever you normal or spell summon an Amazoness, it comes out too, from your hand or graveyard. And that is really, really good. So, like, for instance, you can reveal it to summon Spy, and then whenever Spy is summoned, you can spell summon Pet Baby Tiger. You just got 2 free monsters without normal summoning whatsoever. And then you can force burial to Pet Baby Tiger, and then like just do the same thing, and then you can or like you can reveal something else, special summon a Pet Baby Tiger from graveyard, and then you can normal summon something. You can it's so much free advantage, it's stupid, I love it. And then with like links and everything, you just got 2 Earths, so you can make Mrs. Radiant, and then like maybe like use Call to Haunted or something to bring back something else so you can make a fusion. It's not bad at all. Like, oh my god, Pet Baby Tiger is amazing. And then also, it's really good in Baby Raccoons. If you're playing Baby Raccoons, you need to play 3 of this, because you can normal summon one, special summon another, and then you can make an Xyz or a Link, and then you can summon out another one, and then summon out the other from graveyard. And it's just really, really good overall. Like, seriously, this card is so good. Then we got Amazon. Now that moving on to spell cards, I should say. Amazon is Spellcaster. This card is weird. This card used to be like the best spell on the deck back in the day. Target 1 Amazoness monster you control and 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Switch the original attack of those monsters until the end of this turn. So you target, like, I don't know, your scouts. They have 500 attack. Target that. Target your opponent's blue eyes. Hey, now your scout has 3k and your opponent's blue eyes has 500. Yeah, this card used to be really good and was help out with like LTKs and everything. Nowadays, though, it's just not needed anymore, partly because targeting effects, depending on what deck you're doing against and what format it is, isn't all that great. And also, a lot of places, a lot of decks, god dang it, that like threw me off. A lot of decks, it's just not all that great anymore. And it switches the original attack, so like if you use this against Zodiac, your monster becomes 0. Heck, I don't even think you can target one of the Zodiac XCs because they don't have an original attack power. But anyways, yeah, this card isn't that great anymore. Maybe as a one-of if you want to use it, but I don't really recommend it. Then we got the new spell card for the deck. Amazoness Call. Quick play spell card. Take 1 Amazoness card from your deck and accept all itself, and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard and target an Amazoness monster you control. This turn, other monsters you control cannot attack. Also, that monster can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. You can only activate 1 Amazoness Call per turn. So, Call is a stupid good card. Okay, so not only is it a Rhoda, but it can be a Fool's Burial. It can search out anything in the freaking deck. Doesn't have to be a monster. It doesn't have to be a spell. It doesn't have to be a trap. It can search out anything. And then, also, if it's in the graveyard, you can banish it, target an Amazoness. That thing can attack every single monster your opponent controls once each. This card is so stupid good. I love it. It's awesome, and it's just such a good card. It's something the deck really, really needed. And in combination with Princess, you can search out another copy of it. So, like, you can activate Call, search out Princess, normal summon a Princess, search out another Call. That is so good. It's such a great card, and I know I'm just like on repeat, but I can't express how good this card is. And then also you got 1 Rhoda, so like you got 4 search cards, and well 7 if you count Princess. So yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, next up we got one of their continuous, actually their only continuous spell, Amazoness Fighting Spirit, and it's literally Skyscraper for the deck. If an Amazoness monster attacks a monster of higher attack, then the attacking monster gains 1,000 attack during damage calculation only. Yeah, it's literally Skyscraper, but instead of being for heroes, it's for Amazoness. It's not good anymore. It just really isn't. I mean, Amazonesses, yeah, they have battle-oriented effects and stuff, and yeah, you want to like battle and attack over stuff and do all that, but yeah, it's just not that good. And then it's not like a you can effect, it's mandatory. So, oh hey, if you draw on a Swordswoman and you know that, oh hey, my opponent has 1,200 more damage that needs to be done to finish them off, and I can do that by summoning Swordswoman and attacking into their blue eyes. Oh wait, I have Amazon's Fighting Spirit. That's only going to do 500 to him now. Dang it. Yeah, it's not that great. It really isn't. I don't think it. I mean, it used to be back in the day, but nowadays it's just not needed anymore. Next up, we got their equip card. They have an equip card for some reason. Amazoness Heirloom. You can only equip it to an Amazoness monster. Once per turn, that monster cannot be destroyed by battle. When the equipped monster attacks after damage calculation, destroy the attack target. So the idea is to use it with Swordswoman so that, oh hey, you can just equip it onto it, attack into something, your Swordswoman stays alive, your opponent takes the damage, and then just kills the monster that you just attacked. This would be okay if it wasn't for the fact that Queen exists. Because Queen gives you that battle damage, that battle protection, not once per turn, but per... At the interruption, my dogs are freaking out over the mailman. Anyway, so, as I was saying, Amazon's Heirloom is an okay card. It would have been a lot better had the Queen not existed. But even then, I don't even know if it would still be played even then. The card is okay. The battle protection is nice, and the popping effect is also pretty nice, but it's still an equipped card, which means the instant your monster goes away, and it only can be protected from one battle each turn, it's going to be going away. Not to mention there's like 6 different ways to destroy spells and traps nowadays, so yeah. Yeah, Heirloom's not that great anymore. And then we get Amazon's Village, the other of the 2 really good spell cards for the deck. And it's also a field spell, so hey, you can search it off of Terraforming and Metaverse once that card comes out. So, Amazon's Village, all Amazon's monsters gain 200 attack. Once per turn, when an Amazon's monster is destroyed by battle or a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can spell summon one Amazon's monster from your deck with a level less than or equal to that Amazon's monster in the graveyard. So, okay, the idea with this is you attack with your Swordswoman, she dies, your opponent takes damage, okay, summon out another one, attack, do it again. That or, oh hey, your board just got wiped, okay, spell summon something. It's a really nice field spell. I mean, it's not like the perfect field spell, it's not the greatest either, but with everything the deck does, and what it does, and its idea and everything, it's just an overall really good field spell for the deck and everything it does. Now, could it have been better? Yes, it could have been. I mean, it could have been like something like, oh hey, you can also grab an Amazoness or something, or maybe it could summon like 2 if like multiple are destroyed or something. But in all generality though, this card is really good for what it does for the deck, and you still want to play 3 of it because hey, 200 attack boost is nice, and also being able to just constantly recur more monsters every time one dies. Really great. I like it. It's a great field spell. Next up for the traps, I'm not gonna lie, the traps are a mixed bag. So first and foremost, we got Amazoness Shamanism. It kind of just go along with Spellcaster. I think that's even the same person. I wonder if they're ever gonna print that shaman in the artwork as an actual monster. That'd be interesting. Anyway, so destroy all face-up Amazoness monsters you control. Then you can spell summon any number of level 4 or lower Amazoness monsters from your graveyard in face-up defense position, up to the number of monsters destroyed by this effect. Now then, this is nice, okay? It's okay. If like, oh hey, your opponent's gonna like destroy something or another, and oh, you can trigger your village and everything, it's okay. But, it's not great either. You gotta destroy your own stuff. If it said destroy all cards, or sorry, all face-up monsters, and then you can spell summon as many as possible from your graveyard, that'd be nice, but yeah, Shamanism's just not all that great. It's supposed to like be able to dodge stuff like Mirror Force and everything, but unless Mirror Force becomes super popular in the future, I don't see this being used like at all. Now, it is pretty cool that it can't trigger fields though. I like that. So, I don't know. It's okay, maybe as a one-off if you want to try it out. I personally don't like it enough to play it, but maybe if Mirror Force ever becomes bigger, it might become used more. Next up, we got Queen's Pawn. Activate only when an Amazoness monster you control destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard. Spell summon one level 4 or lower Amazoness monster from your deck. This card is actually pretty good for being the fact that it's just a general summoner from deck. Okay, so, oh hey, you kill something, activate this, spell summon dude from deck. I should say a girl, because they're all girls. But either way. Now, funnily enough, even though this shows Amazoness trainee being the attacker, or maybe she's just being the one that's being summoned, I don't know. You don't get this effect off of killing with trainee, because it doesn't go to grave. But either way, Pawn is pretty good. I like it. I played it too in my builds. It's kind of slow because it's a trap, but even then, it's still really good for just being able to get more monsters out. And honestly, the deck doesn't have many ways of special summoning stuff other than Spy, Tiger, and Princess, so it kind of needs as many ways to get the monsters out on field as fast as possible. And then we got Amazoness Archers. Activate only I cannot say this for some reason. Activate only when your opponent declares an attack while you control an Amazoness monster. All monsters your opponent controls are changed to face-up attack position. Flip effects are not activated, and lose 500 attack as long as they remain face-up on the field. Your opponent must attack with all of their monsters. This card used to be really, really good back in the day, but this card isn't good anymore. It's just, it's not great. I mean, yeah, sure, the 500 attack is okay, but it's still not great. Your Amazonesses nowadays are generally lower than most of your opponent's stuff, even with 500 docking from them. So unless you activate multiples of these, it's not all that great. And then also, unless I'm mistaken, I believe your opponent must have at least one monster that's not in attack position. Because I know some cards, whenever it says, oh hey, your opponent, all their cards are changed to attack position, some things just are like, oh hey, yeah, you can't activate it because they don't have any defense position monsters. So yeah, Archers is okay. It's not that great anymore. I like the artwork, but yeah, it's just not that great. Then we got Dramatic Rescue. Like, oh my god, look at that. She's about to get her arm chopped off by a freaking guillotine. Okay, so another trap card. Obviously, it's a normal trap card. Actually, only when a card is activated that targets an Amazoness monster. Return that targeted monster to its owner's hand and special summon one other monster from your hand. It's okay, considering that Trident and Masterpiece are running around nowadays. This card would be pretty good as a quick play spell card because, okay, normal summon a Princess, search, attack with Princess, your opponent tries to pop Princess with Trident, chain Dramatic Rescue as a quick play spell card, bounce her back, summon out, I don't know, Chainmaster, and continue with the attack. That would have been pretty good, but no, it's a normal trap card. And yeah, it's not that great as a normal trap card. If it was a quick play, it'd be probably a 2 of. But as a trap, it's 1 or none, honestly, probably. Then we got Amazoness Willpower. It's literally a worse version of Call to Haunted for the deck. Select one Amazoness monster in your graveyard and special summon it in attack position. It cannot change its battle position and must attack if able. When this card is removed from the field, destroy that monster. When that monster is destroyed, destroy this card. Okay, so it's literally a worse version of Call to Haunted. Except it's got some benefits because it has Amazoness in the name. You can search it off of a Princess and Call. But even then, I'm still hesitant to play it because you still gotta. It's gotta attack. It's gotta be in attack position, and you must attack if able. Which means if you know your opponent has a Mirror Force because they just duality for it, you have to attack into it. How fun is that? It's really. It's debatable on how good it is. If you want to play it, maybe 1 to 2. Personally, I don't play it. I'm just more better off playing Call to Haunted. That or Soul Charge, stuff like that. And then we got the last of the new cards, and oh my god, I love this card. It's so good. So, Amazoness Ambush. Continuous trap card. Once per turn during the battle phase, so either player's battle phase, you can special summon one Amazoness monster from your hand. And if you do, it gains 500 attack until the end of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. If an Amazoness monster you control battles an opponent's monster, after damage calculation, you can banish that monster. And then if this card on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can target an Amazoness monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Okay, so right away, during your player's battle phase, you can just plop a monster onto the field for free. And it gets 500 more attack points, because why not? Oh, by the way, none of these effects are hard once per turn. So if you have multiples of this, you can get 3 free monsters, 500 boost each. Then if one of your Amazonesses battles an opponent's monster, you can banish your opponent's monster at the end of the damage calculation. This literally turns all of your Amazonesses into freaking Whiptail. And that's incredibly obnoxious. And then, if this card is destroyed, you can special summon any Amazoness from your graveyard. What? I love it. This card is so freaking good, and it's easily searchable off a Princess and Call, and it's just such a incredibly good card. Just being able to plot more monsters out, it's super easy. Banishing your opponent's stuff, making it really hard for them to get that stuff back, unless like you're playing against Cosmo. And then, oh hey, if it dies, hey, free monster reborn. There you go. It's such a good card, and like I freaking love it. It's really, really good. I'd argue it's almost better than Pet Baby Tiger, but Pet Baby Tiger is just these two are like the best cards in the deck. Like, honestly, they really are. So yeah, that's it for the main deck. So right away, overall for the main deck, they need more good spells and more good traps. Right now, you can really only argue that there's 3 playable traps, I would say, and then, yeah, only 2 really good spells. Then for the monsters, it's really debatable on, like, what's actually, like, I mean, okay, it's not debatable. Like, they have, out of all their monsters, only 7 are really all that good or even worth playing. And even then, Chainmaster and Trainee are debatable if you want to play them, because some people don't like them. Granted, I think Chainmaster is great for being able to steal your opponent's hand traps, but that's beside the point. So, yeah, they could really use some more monsters. Now, granted, the stuff that they did get very recently is stupid good. So, what does this deck need? Well, it just needs better monsters, spells, and traps, honestly. Like, what they got, they have a good base here. They really do. They have a Rhoda, they have a card that searches, they have a Stratos, they have a Rhoda and a Stratos, they have a good field spell. They could probably do with a great field spell, like a better version of it, like, I don't know, Amazonas Kingdom. I don't know. They could really use 1 or 2 more traps that are really good. And they could really use maybe an Inherent Monster Reborn kind of thing. Like maybe a Amazonas Return. I don't know. Oh, wait, no. That's what... Yeah, okay, never mind. I mean, they kind of have called it a Haunted, but I'm talking about like a spell version of it. Like, because that would be a lot better. So, that's my general thoughts on the main deck. Because, really, honestly, they have a good base here. It's a good base. And a good, like, groundwork to work on. And I feel like that, really, honestly, they only need, like, 2-3 more cards to be really good. To be a solid rogue deck. Maybe even tier 2. So, yeah, I don't know. Konami, get on that. We need Amazonas to be good. Granted, they're already fun to play as a rogue deck, but if they get a few more cards that are really solid and really good, this deck could be a solid rogue deck for, like, taking to a regional or something, and maybe, like, topping 32. It's on its way, honestly. Then we got the fusions. Oh yeah, and that's another thing. They need their own inherent fusion spell. I almost completely forgot about that. They need a fusion spell for themselves, okay? You cannot rely on polymerization for this deck anymore. Like, they need like a, I don't know, Amazonas combination or something. I can't think of a name. Amazonas, trying to think of something. Shamanism? No shamanism. I don't know, something that lets them fuse. Anyway, so first up we got Amazonas Empress, level 8, 2800 attack, 2400 defense, Warrior Earth, with the field spell out, she's 3k, that's awesome. So, she needs Amazonas Queen and an Amazonas Monster. Other Amazonas cards you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. If an Amazonas monster you control attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. If this face-up fusion summon card is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect while it's in its owner's control, you can spell summon 1 Amazonas Queen from your hand, deck, or graveyard. This card is pretty solid, okay? I hate it how she protects her other stuff and not just her. Like, I mean, well, no, let me rephrase that. I hate it how she doesn't protect her. She protects everybody else, but not her. She could... Now, if you get 2 out, though, that's really mean. But, she could really have done with being able to protect everybody, including herself, kind of like the original Queen. But Empress is an overall really, really good monster. She's 2800, 3k with the field spell. Grants protection to all of your Amazonas monsters from battle and card effects, except herself. And then gives them all piercing. And then if she dies, she replaces herself with another queen. Or hey, if you have a princess in the graveyard and she's treated as queen, you can spell summon princess and search. It's just an overall really, really good boss monster. This card is scary good. Now, it used to be a lot better before Lynx came out, but because then you could get out 2 super easy, and then like, hey, they protect each other. Nowadays, though, you kind of have to work for that, making Mrs. Radiant first, and then summoning 2 Empress, which isn't the easiest thing to do, but it's still doable. Empress is just really good. Oh yeah, and also she makes a great target for calls affecting graveyard to just target and be able to attack everything. Personally, right now I'm playing 2 of each. Might change once I get to around testing with links and everything because I've been playing on YgoPro. Next up, Amazonas Pet Liger. Needs a Tiger and an Amazonas monster, level 7, 2500 attack, 2400 defense. If discard attacks during damage calculation, you can make discard gain 500 attack during a damage calculation only. If an Amazonas monster you control attacks an opponent's monster, after damage calculation, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 800 attack. Monsters your opponent controls cannot attack Amazonas monsters except this one. So, it gains 500 whenever it attacks. Whenever any Amazonas monster attacks, you can target a monster your opponent controls, it loses 800 attack. And then your opponent has to attack this guy. So, yeah. Pet Liger is overall pretty awesome as well. And kind of fits that niche that, like, Empress kind of leaves, where, Empress is super defensive, Pet Liger is super offensive. And I love it. These two work really well together. And it's really, really mean because, oh, hey, your opponent can't attack anybody except for this guy, and Empress makes it to where this guy can't die. So, really, really great overall. I really do like the two fusions. I feel like they could do with maybe one or two more, just because if you're going to do a fusion deck, might as well have more than two. Especially if this deck ever gets its own archetypal fusion spell. Now then, likewise, I feel like that this deck could really use a Link monster, because it can churn out monsters so easily now. And maybe even an Xyz, but I don't know, maybe that's a bit much. But the two fusions I really like, and personally I'm playing two of each because I just really like them. Now granted, from what I can tell, and I even Googled it on a Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki, the fusions and Spy are not in Legendary Duelists, which sucks, because are you losing like one of the best combos in this deck, because reveal Spy, special summon Pet Baby Tiger, special summon, and then hey, free Link summon before you go into your other plays. But you're also losing out on the two fusions, and the fusions are great boss monsters for the deck. So I would say that Amazonas really don't have their full potential just yet in the TCG until we get the fusions and we get Spy, because they're just really great for the deck overall. And right now, with Legendary Duelists out, I'd say it's a fun deck to play. It's a fun little budget deck to pick up and play against your friends and stuff. I think Queens are still like $5 for some reason, because she's always been expensive because she's from D-Rev. So, aside from Queen and like buying boxes to try and get a hold of everything, I would say that this deck, if you want to build it for just a fun little casual deck and it's cheap and everything, hey, go for it. it's fun, it's annoying, it can do some really, really funny stuff to your opponent. And once we get the fusions and Spy, it just gets even better. So, guys, what do you think about Amazonas? What do you think they need? Do you think that they could really do with just generally good monster spells and traps more? Because, I mean, honestly, look at this 11 cards total, honestly, out of how many again? Let's see here. Out of 25. I could have, so 11 out of 25 cards are, like, actually playable in the deck. Yeah, that's less than half. So, yeah, the deck could really use some more stuff. But what do you guys think? Tell me down in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And see y'all. Legend for Life. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to my two Patreons so far. To my two wonderful, wonderful Patreons, Cambrock223 and Night Zone. You guys are incredibly, incredibly awesome. And it just... I can't express my thanks enough. Thank you guys both, and I hope everybody has a great day. See y'all later. Peace out.